The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros. Sandra Cisneros is a Chicana writer known for her personal works on intersectionality and wrote The House on Mango Street as her first novel. She used her childhood as inspiration to bring the book to life. The book itself chronicles the coming-of-age tale of a young Latina girl named Esperanza Cordero as she lives on Mango Street, a neighborhood assumed to be in a poor sector of Chicago. In this presentation, I wanted to touch on Esperanza's identity as a woman and how it ties in with her intersectionality, specifically her Latina versus American identity and her desire to escape her environment on Mango Street. I also wanted to explore Esperanza as an artist, as she is a woman of color and a female writer. The history against female creators is harsh and cruel, women frequently being told that their work is inadequate in comparison to a man's. I also wanted to know how her dreams as a writer influenced her desire to escape her surroundings. Her work became her path to freedom and helped her heal. First off, intersectionality. Esperanza faces several struggles as she begins to understand her Latina and Latin American counterparts. She first realizes the difference between herself and her classmates when she goes to school and brings a rice sandwich with her to eat at the canteen. This scene is significant because it shows how Esperanza's family cannot afford to purchase lunch meat for her to eat and that she is financially different compared to her classmates. Esperanza also wishes she lived in a different house, one that is big, has a yard, and has plenty of trees. This shows how she wishes to fit in with the typical American dream. Beyond Esperanza's wishes to overcome these cultural barriers, she also doesn't conform to the gender expectations placed on her by her community. The expectations for girls and women on Mango Street are for them to be submissive to male authority in their life and to not break the cycle of oppression placed on them. Esperanza, however, refuses to let herself become trapped in the cycle. These differences allow Esperanza to develop her identity with intersectionality. Esperanza's relationship with womanhood is also complex and confusing as a result of her differences. All of her role models on Mango Street are women who are isolated in their homes and under the control of a male figure in their life. Sally, a girl Esperanza befriends, is similar to Esperanza as she also refuses to be tied down like everyone else. She is rowdy and wild, chasing after boys as an escape to her abusive father's wrath. She dreams of marriage and leaving Mango Street. Although she eventually fulfills these wishes, she still ends up in the same place as every woman on Mango Street anyway. Esperanza reflects on Sally's rebellious behavior and her path to self-destruction. Rather than finding empowerment and freedom through her sexuality, however, Esperanza decides to write poems. Esperanza copes with her trauma and finds herself through her artistry. Instead of surrendering to the same fate as every woman on Mango Street, Esperanza chooses to write her way out of Mango Street and find success through her voice. Creating poems allowed her to find control and freedom in a life where she was born without any, eventually allowing her to escape. Despite her successful escape from Mango Street, however, she's no longer just writing for herself, but also for all the other girls just like her, who also dream of escaping the life they've been born into. This quote illustrates how influential Esperanza will become. They will not know I have gone away to come back. For the ones I left behind, for the ones who cannot out. In conclusion, Esperanza breaks through the boundaries set by her community to pursue her passions. Instead of sitting at a window commanded by her husband, Esperanza challenges the norm and uses her artistry as leverage to help her come to terms with her own identity and intersectionality, as well as escape the life she had in order to achieve her dreams as a writer. Although she ventures far beyond Little Red House on Mango Street, she knows deep inside that it lives on inside of her, timelessly existing in a small part of her heart.